And we'll start the way we always do. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Okay. With a few deep breaths in through your nose, perhaps out through your mouth. It's a Wednesday, it's our hump day. Although maybe in today's world, it doesn't really feel like we have a hump day. I don't know. But I like to say, I know I say it often, but if, when you come to your mat, if there's anything that happened earlier this morning or in the earlier part of your week that you do not want to bring with you into the rest of your day, into the rest of your week, let it go here. Use your breath. It's a gift, it's a tool. Our exhale teaches us to release what we don't need, to let go of what has already served us. Just another minute or so, breathing, using the breath to help you settle in. If your lower back is sore when you're on your back and your legs are extended, remember you can bring the soles of your feet to the mat and lean your knees in towards each other. Just allowing your breath to help you set aside your distractions, your to-do lists. Just setting everyone and everything else aside just for the next 50 minutes. This is your time to give yourself what you need to recharge, to fill up your cup. As you continue to breathe in and out through your nose, feel the breath three-dimensionally. Often I point out how you might feel the front body with that rise and fall of your chest and belly, but feel the back body pressing into the mat. Feel the side body expanding to the right and to the left. Just letting your exhale take time as you let go of every last drop of breath. Using the breath to help you reconnect to the present moment, setting aside the past, setting aside the future. Just allow yourself to be here. I want to invite you to recall our word from Monday, santosha. It's the practice of contentment. So being okay with things as they are, regardless of our preferences. Just giving yourself 2 more breaths here in stillness. You can use your second exhalation to bring the soles of your feet to the mat, about hip width apart. And we'll begin with some subtle movement, just gently moving the pelvis forward and back. We want to keep the legs quiet as we manipulate the pelvis, the lower back. Arms and hands can be where they're most comfortable. And I want you to begin to move with your breath. I like to inhale as I tuck my tailbone, taking away the lower back curve. And then as I exhale, I press my tailbone in the mat, tilting the pelvis forward, deepening that lower back curve. Head just resting heavy on the mat. Eyes can be opened or closed here. When you are ready for a greater range of motion, extend your arms by your side, palms down, and begin to move into flowing bridge. Inhaling as you tuck the tailbone and peel the spine off of the mat, one vertebra at a time. Hip bones reaching up towards the ceiling. Your exhale will return your spine, again, one vertebra at a time. Tailbone is the last thing to unfurl or to press into the floor. Here too, moving at your own pace. You can choose to speed it up or to slow it down. Just slowly bringing heat and effort to the body. As you actively press your palms into the mat, you'll engage the triceps. They can work with, act in synergy with the muscles of your back body. Your glutes, your hamstrings, the erector spinae of your back. Continuing to keep the legs quiet. Ankles beneath the knees. For anyone that may want more intensity, the next time you breathe in, take one foot off the mat, reaching those toes up towards the ceiling as you inhale. Exhale, slowly lower the spine. Bring that foot to the mat, and you'll want to take the other side. Just continuing to match your movement to the pace of your breath. If you're lifting one leg off the mat in your bridge flow, take care to even yourself out. And then let's all meet in bridge, holding the pose, keeping that breath slow and steady, feeling both feet pressing into your mat. You can bring your hands together beneath your pelvis, rolling onto the back. So the arms continuing to press the arms into the floor, opposite from the hips, reaching up towards the ceiling. Keeping your breath slow and steady, expansive and full. Couple more breaths here. Keep those hip bones reaching up. And as we move in and out of different poses, as we hold things, as we transition, be mindful of where your edge may be. I want you to be deep enough that there's effort, there's heat. Maybe you're nudging your comfort zone, but we're not so deep that you have to white knuckle the pose or that you start to do the pose with your face. I'm going to be able to keep the muscles soft, maybe even a smile. On your exhale, slowly lower the spine, one vertebra at a time. When your spine reconnects with the floor, take your feet wider than your hips, and let's just let the knees fall to one side, hang out on that side for a breath or two. And then use an inhale to take those knees back through center, and we'll spill the knees to the other side. And let's take those knees side to side, moving with your breath, just windshield wipering the legs. To protect the knees, you can flex the feet so that just the heels are on the mat, or the carpet, just off the mat perhaps. When you've evened yourself out, you've taken those legs to each side the same number of times. You can come back through center. We'll meet in knees to chest. Just giving both legs a generous hug. You can choose to rock from side to side here. And then as you come back to center, bring your hands either behind the thighs, so on the hamstrings, or maybe you want to hold on to the calves. And we're taking that rocking forward and back motion. Chin is tucked. We want to keep the spine rounded, our belly hollowed out. Just doing this a few times on our way to Navasana, or boat pose. So in the next breath or two, find your way to your tailbone. I'll turn around so that you're not looking at my back. So here we are in boat. You might choose to have those toes just barely touching. I want your spine to be nice and straight. Maybe the shins are parallel with your mat. Maybe the legs are straight. Find where you want those legs, and then we're taking our arms off the legs, using just our core muscles, our iliopsoas, our hip flexor also definitely has to work, our quadriceps too. Keep the shoulders down away from the ears, and depending on where your toes are, I want you to just dip one set of toes and then the other in the water. And if you began with all 10 toes in the water, then you just lift a foot out, or pretend water. Be mindful, keep those shoulder blades knit together, chin maybe slightly up or parallel with the mat. Keep your breath steady. Find your edge here. Just enough effort that maybe it's a little uncomfortable. Maybe you're thinking, how much longer do we have to do this? But not so much that you can't keep that breath slow and steady. Next inhale, find your boat pose, hold it, maybe those legs are bent, maybe straight, take your arms out. Inhale the arms up, exhale palms together, hands to heart center. Bring those legs to your mat, sit up nice and tall. We'll make our way over those legs on our way to hands and knees. Hips over the knees, shoulders over wrists. And let's take cow and cat. When you're ready to breathe out, tuck the tailbone, round the back, release the head for cat. On the in-breath, move into cow, tilting the pelvis forward, releasing the belly, the chest, lifting the chin. Similar to bridge flow, I want you to move at your own pace. I also want you to match the movement of your body, this rolling through the spine, with your breath. So consider what that means, whether you need to speed up or slow down or maintain your pace. Always articulate one vertebra at a time. Have that aim. There may be parts of the spine that get stuck. Initiate the movement from the base of your spine, so your pelvis, whether it's the inhale or the exhale. Tilt the pelvis in one direction or the other first. Then let the spine respond. The next time you are ready to breathe in, let's meet in a neutral spine. And from there, we'll take lateral flexion of the spine. So just bending the spine side to side. You can draw your hips towards the head on one side, and the other side, it's almost like a C curve we're creating as we wag our tail. And when you've evened yourself out, let's go to child's pose. Bringing those big toes to touch, hips sinking towards the heels, extending your arms. Forehead resting on the mat. When you're ready with an exhale, I want you to take your torso, your arms right of center. Just for a deeper side stretch. When you're ready with an exhale, go left of center. Just taking a moment to honor things as they are. As you come back to child's pose. Particularly with your next exhale as we make our way into downward facing dog. Tucking your toes, sitting bones reaching up towards the ceiling. Palms planted in the earth, sitting bones reaching up towards the sky. You can find movement here as you bend one knee, then the other. Just giving yourself permission as you settle into downward facing dog to move around, to see what's available in the body. Noticing if there are any aches and pains you need to be aware of. Any places that feel a little tender or tight. And in the next breath or two or three, I want you to quiet the legs as you find stillness inside of your downward dog. Ears by the inner arms. Deep breaths through the nose. When you're ready with an inhale, look towards the hands, and on your exhale, you can walk or jump the feet forward to meet the hands. Take a moment, shake the head yes. Let all the weight come into the legs. You can take your hands off the mat, circling the wrists in both directions. And here in Uttanasana, feet hip-width apart, I want you to take your hands slightly left of center. Coming into a gentle twist. When you're ready to breathe out, go the other way. Just right of center, keeping the head heavy. Returning to center when you've evened yourself out, bringing a generous bend to those legs. When you're ready to breathe in, let's take half lift. Straightening the legs, palms coming to the shins or the quads, flattening the back, gaze towards the ankles. That allows you to reach through kind of the top back part of your head. Energy extending through the sitting bones towards the back of your mat. When you're ready to breathe out, release, return to your fold. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhaling, finding your half lift, your Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, returning to your fold. Again, inhale, flat back, strong core. Exhale, release. On your next inhale, let's move into chair, Utkatasana. Weight in the heels, legs bent, arms extended, ears by your inner arms, and you choose your intensity. The deeper the bend in the legs, the more intense, the closer your bum towards the floor. The less bent, the less intense. So check in with your back, check in with your knees, your shoulders. You can always bring your arms to goalpost arms if you don't like having the arms overhead. A couple more breaths here. And I want you to bring your arms to your side and let's take drinking bird. Drinking bird is a balance. We lift the heels off the mat, coming onto the balls of the feet. And then you may hinge in the hips even more. Spine parallel with your mat, similar to half lift. So your belly and your thighs might be touching. Keep those ankles strong. Maybe a heel comes down, maybe both. Just lift them back up if they do. And try not to do a face plant in your mat. Sometimes my body wants to do that. When you're ready to breathe in, heels return to the floor. Arms reach up, extended mountain, feel those thighs. Exhale, arms down, hands to heart center. And let's move into some sun salutations. We'll take this first one slow. Inhale, extend your arms up. On your exhale, fold forward. Couple breaths here to shake it out or to hug the legs or both. When you're ready to breathe in, take half lift. Here for a couple breaths. So there's time to really find your alignment. Some can straighten the legs here, palms on the shins. Some can't. It just depends. We want to keep our spine about parallel with the mat. Energy out the sitting bones and the crown of the head. When you're ready to exhale, take it to downward facing dog. Keep your sitting bones reaching up, opposite from the heels, pressing down into the floor. Middle fingers pointing towards the top edge of your mat. And you're pushing into the heels of the hands so that shoulders are not directly above the wrists. When you're ready to breathe in, take it to plank. Shoulders over wrists. Navel hugging the spine. We want to protect the back here, so strong core. When you're ready to exhale, take your chaturanga. That yogi push-up, keeping those elbows close to the ribs as we lower. Soften knees, thighs, pelvis, belly, then your chest to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Couple of breaths here. I like to keep my elbows hugging into the ribs, palms gently pressing into the floor. When you're ready to exhale, do it on your way to downward dog. Your inhale, look towards the hands. Come into half lift. Feet come to the hands. Hands to the legs. Flattening the back. Exhale, release to your forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Extended mountain. Fingertips reaching towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's take a few more. One pose per breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back, building heat. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Or up dog. I'm showing cobra. I'll show up dog next time. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, flat back. Feet to hands, hands to legs. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. Continuing our sun salutations. Inhale, reach up. Fold on your out breath. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. I'm showing up dog, flipping the feet, extending the arms, knees are off. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's do 2 more. If you want more intensity, exhale, fold forward. I'll show you that on the planks. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, downward dog. This is where you can add more intensity. Take one leg off. Inhale to your plank. Keep that leg in the air as you exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back to downward dog. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. 1 more, last one. Inhale up. Exhale, fold, little quicker. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, downward dog. If you're evening yourself out and that more intensity, lift the opposite leg. Inhale to your plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, back to downward dog. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. We did it. Hopefully you're warmer. We're moving into our balance. If you remember, those of you that were here on Monday, we're taking warrior 3 into a variation of chair. We'll balance on the right leg first. You might keep those hands at heart center as we take the leg back. Energy out the heel of the left foot. When that leg can't go higher, hinge in the right hip. Keep your spine even with the leg. So it doesn't matter where we end up. Maybe we end up parallel with our mat. Maybe we're at more of an angle. That's okay. If you'd like more intensity, you can play with the arms. The further the arms are away from the body, the more effort required in your warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3. Keep the hips square. Your kneecap, the quadriceps, they're pointing down or facing the mat, depending on how high that leg is. When you're ready to breathe in, let's transition. Inhale your way back to vertical, staying on that right leg, chair pose. So we're crossing, or placing right ankle, nope, your left ankle on right knee. Is that right? Yes, left ankle on right knee. My intention is to mirror you even though I'm at this angle, so you can tell me how that is or isn't working at the end of class. Rooting down through that supporting foot, shoulders away from the ears, shoulder blades knit together. Keep your spine straight. When you're ready with an inhale, extend those arms, that leg, and then shake it up. And we'll take the other side. You can shake it, you can dance it, you can wiggle it or jiggle it, whatever. But I'm gonna come closer so I know you're doing something. Is everyone doing something? Good job. Okay, now as we come to both legs, both feet planted in our mat, we'll take the left side. So your left leg is supporting you in warrior 3. The right foot is in dorsiflexion. That means the toes or reaching towards the shin. So energy is extending through the right heel, as well as the crown of the head and into your mat through that supporting leg. Just honoring your expression of warrior 3. Maybe you don't need more effort today. Maybe you don't need more intensity. Maybe you do. Only you know that. Navel hugging the spine, so we need to keep our core activated here to protect our back. We're going to focus on a fixed point in front of us, keeping those hips square. When you are ready to transition, when you feel like you've been on this side long enough, my supporting leg is on fire, we'll take that variation of chair, creating a figure 4 with the legs, right ankle on left knee, creating a deep hip crease as our gluteus gutamus sits in that invisible chair as I wobble all over the place. You want to focus on a fixed point in front of you. Can you cultivate, can you find santosha? Can you practice contentment here, inside of this balance, inside of what may feel really intense or not? When you are ready, slowly come out, rising up, and then shaking it out. Maybe giving yourself a pat on the back. At least for me, that was pretty intense. And if it wasn't for you, awesome. If it was, just as awesome. Come back to your mat, maybe towards the top, but maybe kind of top center. Feel your toes on the mat. With hands at heart center, thumbs against your chest bone, your sternum. Take a moment with eyes closed, shoulders relaxed, to notice your heartbeat and your breath. Perhaps attending to a few other details of this moment, just to keep you present, to keep you grounded here in the now. When you are ready to breathe in, circle those arms up, take your face up towards the sky with your fingertips. Exhale, float to your forward fold. You can take a moment, shake the head yes, and shake the head no. Make your way to downward facing dog. Planting your palms, walking your feet back, but keeping your hips high in the air. And let's take the left side first. So right foot will stay on the mat. I want you to inhale the left toes up towards the ceiling, passing through three-legged dog, opening those hips, bending that flying leg. So it's your left leg that is bent. You're looking under the left arm. Just taking a couple breaths here in fire hydrant dog. You can circle the ankle in both directions while you're here. When you're ready with an inhale, I want you to extend your left leg. And let's exhale to pigeon. Drawing that left knee all the way towards the left wrist. You might need to walk your hands more forward. Keep that right leg extended behind you. You should place the shin on the mat. Now be mindful of this bent knee. If it needs some space, you can always put a block or a pillow underneath your left thigh or hip. I want you to keep the spine vertical as you take care and center your weight between the two legs. Arms are helping to support you. Keep your gaze forward, lift your chin. Just bringing the spine into an even deeper spinal extension or back bend. When you're ready to exhale, go ahead and fold forward. You can let your pigeon sleep for a few breaths, bringing your forehead to stacked fists, the backs of hands, or your mat, or a block. And even as you fold forward here, be mindful of where your weight is. Keep it centered between the two legs. And pigeon is a really important pose to be mindful of where your edge is. So it's okay to go up to the edge. It's okay to gently nudge it, but we don't want to fall off the edge. So the breath, it needs to remain full and expansive, slow and steady. There is sensation, there is effort, but it's just enough. So you want to find that Goldilocks version of the pose, that just enough, just right. And only you can find that as you gently find your expression of the pose. Give yourself 2 more breaths here in pigeon. And then plant your palms on the mat again. We're passing through downward facing dog. And as you set up in down dog, I want you to again reach that left leg, the same leg, up into the air. Take care. And then option to stay here in 3-legged dog or to flip your dog and come into wild thing. If you're flipping your dog, your right hand stays where it is, so does your right leg. You bend the left leg and you just let that foot fall to the mat, reaching your hip bones up towards the ceiling. There's no need to turn or rotate the hand that is supporting you. When you're ready to breathe out, use your core, return to your downward dog. Take a moment to reset if you need to walk anything out. And then you'll be ready for the second side. This time we're inhaling right toes up, opening the hips, stacking right hip on left. Look under the right arm. Bend your right leg. Just hanging out here in fire hydrant dog. You can circle the ankle in both directions. When you're ready with an inhale, extend the right leg and let's exhale to pigeon, right side. So the right knee reaches for the right wrist. We keep that left leg extended behind us. Taking time, finding center as you create your foundation here. Arms supporting you as you take a deeper spinal extension, taking your gaze up towards where the wall meets the ceiling or to the ceiling. Slow, steady, deep breaths. And when you're ready to breathe out, you can put your pigeon to sleep, just giving pigeon a bit of a nap as you bring your forehead to the backs of hands or stacked fists. Being aware that this second side may not look, it may not feel the same as the other. So be willing to accommodate and to support, maybe to modify, as you honor this side for all that it is and all that it isn't. If your mind starts to wander, no worries. Just gently guide it back to what's happening right now. What's happening in your physical body, your emotional, and or your mental body or space. Continuing to practice santosha, cultivating contentment regardless of the conditions. Begin to bring discernment to this second side of your pigeon. If this side felt tighter, stay another breath or two. If it felt easier to get into, go ahead and make your way to downward dog. We'll meet there on our way to three-legged dog or wild dog if you choose to, or wild thing, if you choose to flip your dog. So keeping the right leg extended, toes reaching up. Just go slow. Your hip flexors are just bent. They were in one attitude for a while. If you want to flip your dog, the left hand stays where it is, so does the left foot. You bend the right leg and just let gravity take that foot to your mat, and then reach your hip bones up towards the ceiling. And your right arm to my left, you can just move it around a little. You might get a nice stretch across your pecs, your pectoralis minor, pectoralis major, those muscles of your chest. You might feel it down into the bicep. And on an exhale, let's leave that pose. Use your core. Come back to downward dog. Walk it out. Reset. And on an exhale, I want you to bring your knees to the mat. Let's take child's pose. Hips towards the heels of the feet, forehead on the mat. Take your arms by your sides, palms up, hands near the feet. And just bring your fingertips into the palms of your hands. That'll give your wrists a little bit of a counter stretch for all the weight that we've put on our hands and arms. And then for 3 breath cycles, I want you to just relax. Here in child's pose, letting your shoulders release. Feels like a sinking or a sagging forward towards the ears in my body. On your 3rd exhalation, I want you to tuck your toes, bring your spine to vertical as we pass through hero's pose or screaming toes. We're just stretching the bottoms of the feet, just putting a little bit of movement, some space in the fascia. Fascia is connective tissue. It's like everything is connected. The muscles, the tendons, the bones, by fascia. It's this fluid-filled web-like substance throughout the body. One more breath. Are your toes screaming yet? Mine are. Go ahead and come off the feet and make your way all the way down to your back. When you arrive on your spine, come into knees to chest. A moment or two to rock from side to side, head heavy on your mat, throat open, jaw soft. Return to center and stillness. Extend your legs up towards the ceiling. And let's take wide straddle. So on an exhale, take your legs away from each other. You can let your hands hold on to the inner thighs. Maybe there's enough space to reach the hands towards the calves for a deeper expression. Deeper still, you'd hold on to the big toes. But wherever you choose to hold on, see if you can let your hands do the work of holding on and release any tension in the chest, the shoulders. Wide straddle is a great pose, either reclining like we are on our backs or seated. Wide straddle can help to decompress the lower back. You can use the wall as a partner in wide straddle. Here we're lengthening the adductors, the inner thigh muscles. You might feel a lot of tension there. On an inhale, bring those legs together, back to center, arms out to the side, away from the body, palms up. And on an exhale, take supine spinal twist. Bend your legs, keep the feet on the floor. Cross right leg over left. And then send your legs to the left and your gaze to the right. And it may feel appropriate to keep the legs crossed. They may not naturally want to stay crossed. Just listen to your body. You don't have to keep the legs crossed, but let the body relax here. Shoulders, hips, legs heavy. Your breath even more expansive here. Eyes can be closed. Just allow each breath in to serve you. It's an invitation to receive what you need. Each exhale a practice in letting go. Releasing what has already served you. When you're ready with an exhalation, use it to make your way back through center. You can uncross those legs, feet off the mat, kind of like in a half knees to chest. You're just not hugging the legs this time. For the second side of our twist, cross left leg over right leg. And when you're ready with an exhale, legs go to the right and your gaze goes to the left. Relaxing the feet, the hands. Just allowing time to serve you. As we stay a few more breaths in this second side of our twist. Just beginning to bring discernment to this second side. When you feel like you've been here long enough to bring balance to your body, you can make your way out of the twist and into your final relaxation pose. Just remaining on your back, arms and legs extended. You might have your arms close to the sides of the body, palms up. Just allow your legs to relax. Sometimes they want to relax in a more turned out or open position. Just continue to allow the ebb and flow of your breath as it washes over you, as it enters and exits the body. When you hear the sound of the bells, that'll be your cue to make your way to the right side of your body for nurturing pose. And from Meister Eckhart, if the only prayer you say in your entire life is thank you, that would suffice. I encourage you to keep the eyes closed as you slowly bring awareness and movement back to the body. Just making your way to the right side for nurturing pose. Giving yourself a few breaths here as you transition from the end of your practice to the beginning of the rest of your day. And when you are ready, begin to peel yourself away from the floor, making your way to a comfortable seat. Just taking a moment to sit up nice and tall. On an inhale, take your arms, your gaze up. On the exhale, bring those palms together, hands to heart center. And I encourage you here to take a moment to honor yourself, your practice, and your body. And as you move off of your mat and into the rest of your day, may you cultivate contentment and peace. Namaste.